I'd just like to give a shout out to a few people out there. Based on my last video, my first video, give a shout out to Sean Smokes of the Smokes vlog. I really like Sean a lot. And Vic DiPotetto, a very talented comedian from New Jersey. And also Shade Tree Surgeon, a really terrific motorcycle vlogger from Florida that I find very entertaining and very insightful. Anyway, thanks guys. I didn't mean to make fun of you in the sense that it was pejorative or anything like that. I like you guys a lot. Anyway, let's get on to the subject at hand. Right now, this vlog, I want it to be about what? Your motorcycle sucks. So does mine. Or does it? So basically, let's find out at least why my motorcycle sucks.
Okay, here we go. Basically, these are the old throttle bodies, and if you look close enough, you can see where it's cracked over here. It's pretty loose. It actually comes apart. The same with this one here. You can see it comes right off. They broke. They both broke. They broke at the same time, basically leaving me dead on the highway. I had to call for a tow. This seems to be a prevalent problem with the boxer engines running from 2005 up until 2013 with the plastic throttle body pulleys. Basically, from heat, over time the plastic degrades and it cracks. BMW does not warranty this issue or have any extended recall on them, even though I think they should. This is obviously a defect. And in order to replace the throttle bodies, BMW wanted over $1,100, probably $1,200, I think it was, for just the parts, and that doesn't include any of the sensors in the throttle body, or these cables or anything like that. It's just for the bare parts. So the total repair, if I would have had BMW do it, probably would have been at least $1,400. I found a pair of throttle bodies online from a salvage motorcycle that had 20,000 miles on it. And I basically got them for $220, maybe less than that. And that also came with the whole fuel injection harness as well as the cables with the banjo box and everything else. And I had to purchase a low profile auger clamp pliers in order to disconnect the piping over here. You can see this is a low profile auger clamp, and you use special pliers to disconnect them in order to get the bike apart. So in total, in fixing this, it cost me about $235, $240, and I replaced it, and it's been fine since. In the interim, if these the pulleys crack and break on the ones that I have on there now, I'll just send these out to a guy in Tucson that basically made metal replacements for these, and I'll just have him put them on, or I'll put them on myself, whatever. I think they're about $400 for the set, somewhere around that, which is a bargain in a sense. I mean, you probably could spend a little less money and get the original throttle ball pulleys with the shafts from Bing, but the problem with that is setting them up correctly so that the engine idles right and whatnot, because these factory idle set screws are set at the factory. You really can't. We don't have the facilities to set them right now. I don't think Bing does either, even if you sent it to them.
Another problem that could arise on BMWs is their famous final drives. And it's been known to fail with enough regularity that you'd have to question yourself, why would anyone buy a BMW? Basically, the crown bearing fails on these, for some folks, well before their time, at least you'd think. And a lot of BMW aficionados will say, oh, well, you didn't use the BMW recommended fluid for the final drive, which is a Castrol product that only BMW sells. But the thing is, the crown bearing in these drives is a sealed bearing, and the fluid that you would put in there has no effect on the function of the bearing itself, or the failure for that matter. It basically, the fluid lubricates the ring gear that's in here, as well as the outer bearing, which is behind this seal over here. So now that we got that out of the way, bring up a subject that's kind of related to why things suck or why they don't suck, or quite possibly why other people think things suck. And that comes down to a little bit of what they call brand tribalism. It's very prominent subject in marketing and whatnot, and especially when it comes to consumer-related things like, I don't know, computers. You know, we have Apple computers. There's definitely some tribal stuff going on with that. Also, motorcycles, for instance. We have Harley Davidson, probably one of the #1 brands in the world that, you know, what they call top of mind marketing. You know, when you think of motorcycles, what do you think of? Harley Davidson. Or cars, you know, we have Ford. I don't know if you guys are into cars at all, but in the old days, you know, Ford. You know, is it first on race day or failed on race day or found on the road dead? Or we have Mopar, you know, Mopar don't go far, or Mopar or no car. And so it goes, or the bow tie brigade, you know, Chevrolet, like a rock. And so it goes. So, you know, for a lot of us out there in the motorcycle world, you know, we may be purchasing something based on our internal beliefs, if you will, that are basically leveraged into purchasing. And, you know, Harley Davidson, for instance, stands for certain things that align with people's internal narratives, and they create a very strong brand relationship because of that. And it's developed by the manufacturer totally. And it's even used in a sense, I don't want to say against people, but definitely used to basically promote sales and continue sales. And the same thing goes for other brands as well. I mean, Honda, you know, you meet the nicest people on a Honda, or BMW, unstoppable. We know that's not true. So each brand has its own kind of identity. It has its own demographic that it's going after. And basically, I guess what I want to align this with in terms of, you know, some of the stuff I discussed earlier in terms of problems we have with our motorcycles is that, you know, it amazes me what we're willing to put up with to basically be part of a brand tribe. My case in point, you know, it's like BMWs. They have all sorts of problems at times. Some things that the manufacturer knows about and either doesn't take care of at all, or not in a timely fashion, or when they do, you know, they do have extended recalls and whatnot. But, you know, it's like for what the motorcycle costs, you know, you expect a little bit of reliability. That said, the motorcycle itself works very well. And that's probably the one reason I stick with it, is because, you know, BMW, it's almost like, I would say, like a German mentality, such that, you know, everything is combined on the motorcycle to give great performance. Braking, acceleration, handling. It does everything well. That being said, you know, if something happened to my RT here, would I get another one? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. They've gotten quite expensive since I bought this, you know, a lot more money. In some ways, they're a little harder to maintain, in some ways easier. And depending on the model, like the K1600s, you know, just doing the valve check and adjustment on them is quite a procedure, because you have to take the bike apart basically and pull out the cams to adjust them, the valve clearances. And it's a lot of work. It's like work I don't even want to get involved with anymore. On the BMW here, the valves are pretty easy to adjust, and I could even include a little bit video clips in here about that and show you. But anyway, to make a long story short, basically, you know, I think a lot of people put up with, I don't want to say inferior products, but problems with products, and they still come back for more, you know. And why is that? You know, does your bike suck? Does my bike suck? Yeah, it does sometimes, but I think, you know, there's a lot of positive things. There must be a lot of positive things to it that we stick with it. We get something out of the relationship. It gives meaning, you know, to our lives, and whatnot, and being part of a tribe of other people who feel the same way. And there's nothing wrong with that, really. You know, the only thing I would say is I think it gets out of hand sometimes when people basically, berate others for buying a particular brand, of motorcycle and whatnot, because they feel it's inferior and mine is better. It's like back to the old thing when you're a kid. My daddy's stronger than your daddy. It's like or whatnot. And it's kind of that is kind of meaningless in itself. Being aligned with a tribe and affiliation type marketing is fine if it gives you meaning. That's great, but I think it really needs to end there in terms of a type of negative evangelism, as it were. Anyway, that's about it. Part of this video, actually, I had been thinking about doing for a while now, because it's just been on my mind in terms of people's internal beliefs, why they do the things they do, whether it's buying motorcycles or cars, or how they vote in political parties, or the religions that they participate in and what they believe in. Any type of tribal activity, it's just kind of interesting, the sociology and psychology behind it. And riding a motorcycle and picking a particular brand, even if it's, some people are into, the Japanese brands, the big four, and a lot of that has to do with, value. It's like they make great bikes, they're reasonably priced, they have decent all-around performance, and they have good reliability. And there's a lot to be said to that. That appeals to a certain market segment, and it works. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, when people get into their tribal mindset, they can get a little negative. And then you get into like what they might talk about, segmented lineage, which is even within brands you have different sub-tribal categories where people have certain expectations. And I think there was another YouTuber out there, Cyclotron, kind of crossed into the subject, and also McKaylee7. And basically they were talking about, you're not a real rider. Do you ride in the rain? No. It's like, or do you ride when it's below 40 degrees? Oh, you're not a real motorcyclist. And all these behaviors that basically are used for confirmation bias to confirm what they believe, what is real and what isn't real, and what's worthy and what's not worthy. And that's really a shame, because it's negative, and it's behavior that's really unnecessary. I mean, it's fine to have your own beliefs, but I think when you get into what they call masturbation, it becomes problematic and unproductive. So, anyway, I guess I want to leave you with that at this point. If you want to discuss it more, let me know. There's a lot to this that we can discuss and whatnot. I'm open to doing other videos or discussions in the comments, if I get any. I'm a brand new channel here, and basically I'm just trying to have something that's kind of like cinema verite. Here I am in my garage, nothing fancy, just me and the camera and my motorcycle. This is a 2009 BMW R1200 RT. I bought it new as a leftover in 2010. I thought I got a good deal on it at the time. I bought it with a 49-liter top case. What's great about this bike, it has quick detachable luggage. You can get off in seconds. I have heated grips, heated seats. The windshield electronically adjustable. Has electronically adjustable suspension, which is kind of neat. But beyond that, not a lot. It has cruise control, but it doesn't have a stereo or any of the modern convenience or navigation or anything like that. And honestly, I don't really need it. This motorcycle pretty much has everything I want and nothing I don't. And I think that works for me. Whereas the new ones are technological marvels. And honestly, I don't need a stereo system. I don't need Bluetooth. I have Bluetooth. I have a Cardo Freecom 2 on my helmet. It connects to my phone. That's good enough. If I need a GPS, I have a RAM mount in my handlebar. I can have the phone up. But honestly, I'm one of those freaks that I can look at a map, know where I gotta go, and get there. If you live in Ohio or Michigan or wherever, I could look at a map, where I gotta go, look at it for several minutes, fold it up, get on a motorcycle, and I'll get to your place. And that's just how I'm wired. So I don't really need all that modern bullshit. I just want to ride and have a good time. So anyway, I just want to thank you for watching this. I appreciate it. And let's have a conversation here. And I'll see you on the road. Thank you.